Today is March 21st, 2024. My name is Melissa Ackerman, and I will be interviewing Kim Kaliser as part of the Dallas Jewish Community Israel Mission Testimony Project. How are you today, Kim?
Good, thank you.
Was this your first time visiting Israel?
No, it was not.
When was your first time, and when was the most recent time before?
The first time was after college. The most recent time was October 7th. Well, prior to October 7th. But I was there on October 7th, visiting our daughter.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay. What is your daughter doing over there?
She is there on an internship program and was working there in Tel Aviv. We were vacationing down at the Dead Sea on October 7th, so she was on holiday at the time.
Frightening. Okay, so how long did you stay once you were there?
Once October 7th occurred, we were there for a couple more days. I was finally able to get us out on October 9th, and then it took us 3 days to get home.
Okay, and did you bring your daughter home with you?
I did. I forced her to come home. She did not want to. She came home reluctantly, stayed home for a month, and returned back to Israel, where she's living now.
Okay. So what made you want to participate on this particular mission?
I felt it was imperative for me to bear witness to what happened to the people of Israel, especially after being there on the 7th and experiencing the horror of the terrorist attack. I felt it was imperative for me to see it because our eldest daughter served in the IDF as a lone soldier, and our middle daughter was living there and had every intention of staying for a while. And the fact that she was willing to go back and wanted to volunteer and to help the people of Israel, I knew I had to go back and bear witness.
Do you have family living over there in addition to your daughters?
We do. We have cousins over there in Israel.
So your kids had been over and exposed to being in the country before this time?
We've vacationed there a lot. The children and I lived there one summer, and our daughters both went to high school there, to a boarding school, and our eldest served in the IDF. She did a total of 7 years in Israel.
Wow. What were the most meaningful things you experienced on this trip?
Many things. Visiting the Nova Music Festival grounds, hearing the testimony of the head of Zaka, hearing from a lot of the people from the kibbutzes, what they went through, hearing that they are displaced refugees now in their own country, 500,000 of them, seeing the children running around the hotels that we stayed in, which wasn't part of the curriculum, or the itinerary, I should say, there, but bearing witness to even that. Dancing. We had an evening of dancing with headphones on with children at an elementary school to try to bring joy to them, and in return they brought joy to us. Visiting the hotel is always very meaningful. And hearing the testimony of an injured soldier at a hospital in Jerusalem, hearing him recount ever so calmly about watching part of his unit be blown to pieces while searching for the hostages. Many other things. Hearing from an uncle whose nephew is a hostage in Gaza still. Hearing him beg us to please keep in touch or to reach out to our government so that they feel some pressure to do more, which they should, since 5 of the hostages are Americans. It was a powerful, full 3 days, every minute filled with life-changing moments.
How were you received by the Israelis over there? Were they happy to see the Americans Jewish population come, at least see what was going on to try to be part of it?
Every single person thanked us. It was truly unbelievable. We'd walk into stores to try to help because the economy is suffering due to the lack of tourism. And they would thank us. They just wanted to talk to us. They just wanted to share their stories and what they're experiencing since October 7th. They had no intention of selling us anything. They just wanted to talk. They wanted to be heard. They wanted us to come back and share what they've experienced and are still experiencing. And they all, every single one of them, when they found out that we have a daughter over there, insisted that we take their name and phone number in case she needed anything.
Isn't that lovely?
It was unbelievable because many of them are suffering financially, emotionally, and yet they're determined to help our child.
You must all have a friend or a relative or somebody that's been impacted.
Yeah, every single one of them. Every single one of them. Even my daughter that's there and the one that's home. Every single one of them knows somebody who's been affected by this horrible act of violence.
Did you find the country just felt so different from any of your other trips that you've
Yes.
taken?
Yes. The mood is not the same, which is upsetting. But that being said, they are going about their daily lives. You will see people on the beach, some of the young people, trying to enjoy themselves and each other. But it doesn't have the same, right now, it doesn't have the same energetic energy and buzz that it used to have.
Did you feel like you were in jeopardy when you were there traveling?
Never, not once.
What would you want people to know about what you experienced?
On the mission trip, that it was, I feel it's important for everyone to go, to bear witness, to see what happened, to hear the testimonies, to just walk those hollow grounds and to understand what the people of Israel, of all religions, have gone through there. Because it affected everyone, not just the Jewish people. But it's up to us to bear witness and to bring the stories back and to share them so that the world wakes up and understands it's not just the Jewish people's fight. This is everyone's for the betterment of the world.
What would you like to see happen based on your experiences on this last trip?
For more of the Jewish people to speak up, for our government here to support Israel, to do more to fight anti-Semitism, and for the world to, like I said, to recognize that this is not just Israel's problem. These people they kill their own. They're not just after us. God forbid they do accomplish their plan with us. They're on to the next group that don't fit what they feel is the ideal society. That hatred's not going to just go away. And they've proven it with what they've already done with their own people.
Have you kept up with any of the people that you may have met during the trip or after the trip, or the Israelis?
Yes. I've kept up with some, trying to help them with their businesses by trying to help sell their products here.
Oh, okay. And when's your next trip, since you have...
Mid-May.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and spend my time there volunteering.
And do you suggest other people go and go on an organized trip or go with their families?
However they can get there. The Israelis need us. The economy needs us. If it's just a fun trip where you're sitting on the beach but you're shopping and eating, perfect. If it's to go bear witness, perfect. If it's to go volunteer, even better. But they need us. The farmers need help. Everyone needs help. The soldiers that are on active duty, they need help with their animals, watching their animals. There are single mothers now that need help with their children. Israel needs us in many, many ways.
Are the streets empty?
Yes.
Eerily empty?
Yes. Yes. Walking through the Shuk in Tel Aviv, it was mind-blowing to see. My daughter kept reassuring me, it'll be busy, we'll come back on Friday. But that was upsetting, because typically you can go any day of the week and the Shook is packed. And it was empty.
How are your daughters doing?
They're great, they're great. The one that's over there she loves it. She's working her internship. She volunteers when she has free time. And she's determined to stay and help the people, and she considers herself, a member of the society, and she's planning on making Aliyah.
Did she know any of the young folks that were killed at the music festival? Were any of those
No.
her friends?
No, but she has many friends who are on active duty. We have a very close family friend who was inside Gaza for a while that we were very worried about, and we helped to purchase helmets for his unit. Thank God he's out and back in college. But actually, I take that back. She does have one good friend who she's made since she's returned back to Israel, who was at the Nova Music Festival. So he doesn't talk about it much, but he's a good friend of hers.
Okay. Are there any other experiences you might want to talk about or share? Or any other thoughts you have about it?
Just that I really hope that more people will start speaking out, because evil triumphs when the good people are silent and do nothing. And we often wonder how the Holocaust happened. And it occurred just like this. Too many good people were quiet. Too many people were scared. And they're going to take you whether you're outspoken or not.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. Really appreciate it, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you.